janavallabha girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira vanachari Yamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi janavallabha girivaradhari Gopi janavallabha girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira vanachari Yamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Kṛṣṇā Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Kṛṣṇā, Hare Kṛṣṇā, Kṛṣṇā Kṛṣṇā, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇā, Hare Kṛṣṇā, Kṛṣṇā Kṛṣṇā, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayom Vishnupada Paramahansa Paribhashakacharya Ashtottara Shri Madhavaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Gaura Premanandi. Glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. It's a pleasure to be here in the association of all of you Brajbasis, or some visitors like me, temporary visa, for Vrindavan Dham. But such a wonderful place, so dear to Srila Prabhupada's home. I just wanted to mention one thing, which kind of a campaign I'm on, about Prabhupada's legacy. This is just a suggestion, but if I notice that 99.856% of devotees chant the Panchatattva mantra with the morning tune in, I think, more like the Gaudiya Math way than Prabhupada's way. Prabhupada's way of chanting the Panchatattva mantra was very specific. He would say each name of the member of the Panchatattva. He never said Srivas Hari. He said Srivas Hari Go Bhaktavinda. No, he would pause after Gadadhar. Shri Advaita Gadadhar. Srivas Hari Go Bhakta. And why did he do that? Because he wanted to speak each name of the Panchatattva very specifically. So just to suggest, you can, any way is bona fide, not that the other way is not bona fide, but it's not what how Prabhupada chanted. So I always feel that the greatest success we can have in this movement is to do everything as Prabhupada did it. Nothing wrong with doing it some other way. There's many different melodies, but there's this, at least the way I see that Srila Prabhupada chanted, there was a specific philosophical meaning to it, not just a nice melody, but there was a purpose, which is to, Prabhupada only used 2 tunes that I ever heard where he chanting the Panchatattva mantra. In both of them he says, Srivas Adi Gaura. So just a point I wanted to mention. Also, as I usually also mention, Prabhupada never said Ramo. Never said. Of course, Bengalis, they like to say that. But Prabhupada never did, and he was Bengali. And so, anyway, just to mention those things. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Just one other quick point on that. It's very important that all of us concentrate on Srila Prabhupada's legacy. In another 15, 20 years, practically speaking, all of the disciples that Srila Prabhupada initiated directly will be mostly gone from this planet. And so if we don't do that now, already I've seen so many things creeping in, different ideas and concepts, and let's go to this Babaji, let's go over here, let's get some extra nectar, But actually Srila Prabhupada's emphasis was the Sankirtan movement, the compassion that Srila Prabhupada felt in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. Shachetato vimukha chetasa indriyanam. I lament only because people have turned away from Krishna. And naitat bihaya kripanan vimumuksha eko, that how can I think of my own benefit or liberation when, my dear Lord, you are the only possible solution for these persons. Otherwise, there's no other solution. So this is the mood of our acharyas. Of course, many of our acharyas, up to the point of Narottam Das Thakur, and even a few after, they were very busy establishing the basis, the philosophical basis, scriptural basis, so that personalities like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Narottam Das Thakur could all initiate thousands and thousands of people and bring them to Krishna consciousness. But when we bring them, we have to bring them all the way. Not just come in, we make you a devotee and then you're on your own. But this devotee care, devotee maintenance is so important because most people leave Krishna consciousness when they get to the point of anartha nivritti. And it's a very difficult stage when you have to give up your anarthas in order to taste the holy name and to taste the nectar of Krishna consciousness. But anyway, it's just some points for meditation. So today, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 58th chapter, text number 5. Paramasana āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcic chanair etyābhyavandata paramāsana āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcic chanair etyābhyavandata paramāsana āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcic chanair etyābhyavandata. Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcit chanair etyābhyavandata āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcit chanair etyābhyavandata āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcit chanair etyābhyavandata. Vaishnavis. Paramasana āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcit chanair etyābhyavandata. Paramasana āsīnaṁ Kṛṣṇā kṛṣṇam aninditā navoḍhā vrīḍitā kiñcit chanair etyābhyavandata. Parama, exalted, āsane, on a seat, āsīnaṁ, sitting, Kṛṣṇā Draupadī kṛṣṇam Kṛṣṇa aninditā blameless nava newly ūḍhā married vrīḍitā shy kiñcit somewhat śanaiḥ slowly etya approaching abhyavandata offering her obeisances. Translation and purport. Faultless Draupadī, the Pāṇḍavas' newly married wife, slowly and somewhat timidly approached Lord Kṛṣṇa, who sat on an exalted seat and offered him her obeisances. Please repeat. Faultless Draupadī, the Pāṇḍavas' newly married wife, slowly and somewhat timidly approached Lord Kṛṣṇa, who sat on an exalted seat and offered him her obeisances. Purport. Śrīmatī Draupadī was so devoted to Kṛṣṇa that she herself was called Kṛṣṇā, which is the feminine form of the name. And Arjuna was also called Kṛṣṇa because of his devotion to the Lord. Similarly, the devotees of the modern Krishna consciousness movement are often called the Krishnas. So it appears that the custom of addressing Krishna's devotees by his name has a long history. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gunanjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakara Mahyam Rati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is not one of those nectar-filled purports, but I'll do the best I can. So first of all, paramāsana. Krishna is sitting on an exalted seat. And therefore, when we represent Kṛṣṇa, we're asked to sit on an exalted seat. Not because we think that we're exalted, but we're representing that which is exalted. One time Srila Prabhupada had one devotee reading Krishna book to him. And he said, he would sit on my bed. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, I can't sit on your bed. He said, no, you are reading Shastra. No, you must sit on an exalted place. So, and then, more amazingly, the devotee was reading his Krishna book, and Srila Prabhupada said, what was that? Please read it again. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, you wrote it. And he said, no, Krishna dictated it. So, of course, you can take that as Srila Prabhupada's humility. But Srila Prabhupada said, pure devotee means purely dedicated to Krishna, not that he's omniscient. We don't think that a devotee is omniscient. So the point is that we take this exalted seat and we have to try to show the value of this exalted seat. Therefore, in the beginning, in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, in the first chapter, Srila Prabhupada mentions in 2 verses that one who sits on the Vyasasana should be familiar with the 6 darshans, and also should be following everything very strictly. Otherwise, should not sit on the Vyasasana, because you're representing Kṛṣṇa. So this is just something I thought about in this. And then Kṛṣṇā, kṛṣṇam, aninditā. So here the aninditā is translated as blameless. But I was seeing it Kṛṣṇā, kṛṣṇam aninditā. That she's called Kṛṣṇā because she is Kṛṣṇa aninditā. She is aninda to Kṛṣṇa. Otherwise, she's very, very dear to Kṛṣṇa because blameless. It says here blameless. Ninda generally means blasphemous. So aninda is someone who does not blaspheme. So this is the quality of someone who is very dear to Kṛṣṇa. They never blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They never, always wanting and willing to glorify Kṛṣṇa, never doubting Kṛṣṇa for one moment. And this is what I'd like to speak on a little more. I just wanted to go through some of these words. Navoḍhā, recently married. Generally speaking, in this material world, when people are recently married, they're a little bewildered, especially in Kali Yuga. But in any yuga, it's bewildering. We can see so many stories in the Bhagavatam, the classic Yayati, how bewildering it was to get married, and then he got cursed, and then he was having to take on old age just at being married. So, and he was bewildered, so bewildered that he wanted to pass his curse on to his sons. How bewildering is that? That you're so bewildered, that so attached to material existence that you want to pass it on to someone else. But this is actually the nature of envy in this world. The nature of envy is you want to pass the blame on to someone else. Or you want to take the credit, and therefore I want to make sure that someone else is discredited. And the more we become proud of ourselves, pride is a very dangerous thing. Just like yesterday, the devotee was giving the class, spoke about Eklavya, and how, generally speaking, ordinary people who hear the Mahabharata, they think, Eklavya is very great because he did what his guru said. But generally speaking, a guru would not ask you to do something like that. Otherwise, it was a punishment. It wasn't like a reward. And it wasn't to show how glorious it was. It was to show how foolish it was. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Sadhu Shastra Guru Bhakya Chitite Karya Aikya, one of his songs. He says that because the spiritual master is always speaking from Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, then he's glorious. So actually Eklavya offended all three. He didn't follow Shastra by being proud and wanting to be glorified. Every day we say, amanine, that I don't want any glorification. But he wanted to be glorified. And Guru, he didn't follow the order of the Guru. Actually, Dronacharya had already established that Arjuna will be the greatest archer. That's even why, some people, ordinary people, think that Arjuna was wrong. No, he was envious of Eklavya because he was such an expert. But the reason he approached Dronacharya was, I want your words to be true, And so he pointed it out. There's some archer here who seems to be greater than me, out of his concern. Just like Govinda, the servant of Ramanujacharya. One day all the devotees he was such an intimate devotee of Ramanuja, that all the devotees were glorifying him and saying, oh, you're like this, you're like that. He said, yes, I agree. What? It's how proud, I agree. So they went to Ramanuja and said, we think that Govinda is in Maya. We said this, and he agreed. So immediately Ramanuja called Govinda. Govinda, did you say this? And he said, yes, my dear Guru Maharaj, I said that. Because you are teaching us everything. And the only thing I speak and the only thing I do is because you have taught me. And therefore, I had to admit that what they're saying is true because it's coming from you. Not because it's coming from me. From me, I have no qualification. No. But coming from you, yes, I must accept it, even though it is very difficult to accept these things. But I am simply a reflection of your instruction. And all the devotees bowed their head, and could understand the greatness of Govinda. So, just like it says, even if you see Lord Nityananda going into a wine shop, liquor shop, you know he must be preaching. If we see someone else going in, we may doubt a little bit, but hopefully they're preaching also. So anyway, aninditā, she was blameless, and therefore it says here, faultless Draupadī, the chaste Draupadī. And chastity, ultimately, faithfulness, or faultless, or faithfulness, comes from being dedicated to Kṛṣṇa, dedicating one's life, dedicating everything. Kṛṣṇa demands this. He doesn't just suggest it. It seems like he suggests it, because he says to Arjuna, I've explained everything, now you do as you like. But then he says afterwards, if you don't follow my instructions, you will be, you'll have to act in the same way, but you'll act like a coward. But if you follow what I'm saying, then you will be glorified. But Kṛṣṇa says, Savanamam parityajamam mamikam sharanam braja. He's demanding. But he's demanding because he loves his devotee. He loves his devotee, therefore he's demanding. He loves it. He speaks very strongly in Bhagavad Gita. Many things very strong. In Bhagavatam, very strong. One time Srila Prabhupada, the devotees, Prabhupada said, speaking about the nature of people, the nature of women. And so devotee, at that time there was a feminist movement. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, this will not be very popular, in modern society. And Prabhupada said, what can I do? It's in the Bhagavatam. I have to speak the Bhagavatam. So, we have to speak. Srila Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj never compromised. I have never compromised, and you should not compromise. Of course, we want to put things in the most palatable way, but we don't try to change the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam says something about everyone. It says something about men. It says a few things about women. It says a lot more about men. How degraded they are, how foolish they are. Most of the examples in the Bhagavatam of people getting into Maya are all men. They're not women. Prabhupada said generally women are pious. And we see that. Just like I used to see, I don't know how to do, I used to see, especially in India and other places, Latin America, they would always have a woman cashier, because they were less likely to cheat. And so, anyway, that's another subject. so she is aninditā. So this is a very, very important thing. So Eklavya, he insulted Arjuna also, because he should have understood. He blasphemed a devotee by thinking himself, I can be greater than Arjuna, when his supposed, in his mind, Guru wanted Arjuna to be the greatest. He should have allowed him to be the greatest. Even if he was more expert, he should not have shown that he was more expert. So, because blaspheming a devotee is very dangerous. In Skanda Purana, it says, Hanti nindati vaidveshi, that one should not kill a Vaishnava, which is not recommended to kill anyone. You know, even Jad Bharat would not kill an ant, but definitely not a Vaishnava. But killing in this sense means trying to destroy their reputation. You know, obviously, it's pretty obvious if you kill someone, it's not very good. You know, unless you're a Kshatriya, like Arjuna and Krishna tells you to do it. You know. But Srila Prabhupada said specifically about that, because especially in the U.S., is famous for people going crazy and starting to kill people. And then they say, well, God told me. You know, he told me to do this. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, unless Krishna is personally speaking to you, and how can we confirm that Krishna is personally speaking to us? And Prabhupada said, you have to be like Arjuna. So, you have to be seen. Everybody was seeing Krishna speaking to Arjuna. Because anybody can say, well, Krishna spoke to me last night. He told me so many things. And then Prabhupada said about that it's not that we want to see Krishna. Krishna was telling me, Krishna was dancing before me. No. But where is Krishna? This is the mood. Where is Krishna? No. Hey Radhe Bhatadevike Chalalite. Where is Krishna? Where is Radha? Where are the gopis? Where is Govardhan? This is the mood that we should have. So blaspheming, nindati, blaspheming, dveshti, insulting, hating, it literally means hating. And then Vaishnavan, abhyavandata, not offering obeisances to a Vaishnava. We should always offer obeisances to the Vaishnava. And krudyate, becoming angry at a Vaishnava. Because one may say, well, then our temple president is in Maya because he got angry with me. No. That type of anger is out of love and out of concern and out of service. But just to become angry out of false ego at a Vaishnava, very bad. And no harsham, and not being happy to see a Vaishnava. All these things, darshane, paratati shat, all these 6 things are hellish mentality. So, how important it is to serve the Vaishnava. And so, the real essence of this verse is becoming dear to Kṛṣṇa. So how do we become dear to Kṛṣṇa? Kṛṣṇa explains in Bhagavad Gita. The first thing you have to do, adveshta sarvabhutana, you don't be envious of anyone. Just like Kṛṣṇa says, idam tate guyatamam pravaksham yanasuyave, that Arjuna, I'm speaking this truth to you even more deeply than before, because you have no envy. Not only did Arjuna not have envy for Kṛṣṇa, he had envy for no one. He was so free from envy that he didn't want to fight, even though he's a Kshatriya. He did not want to kill anyone. He's a Kshatriya, but before being a Kshatriya, he's a Vaishnava. So a Vaishnava, we see Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was lamenting to the point where Bhishma had to stop his leaving the body just to be able to instruct. Of course, he wanted to see Kṛṣṇa also, but he had to instruct Yudhishthira. This is because Kṛṣṇa wants you to do this. It's not your desire. So please accept. And Kṛṣṇa wants you to do it because you're qualified. Otherwise, Kṛṣṇa wouldn't want you to do it. And he wants you to take the credit, because Kṛṣṇa always wanted to give the credit to his devotees. So, to become dear to Kṛṣṇa, we give up the envy. Then maitra karuna evacha. We see everyone as a friend, and we see them with compassion. And especially in our Krishna consciousness movement, in the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to see everyone as the object of our compassion. Many times I just see people in all these different kinds of bodies trying to enjoy, what to speak of lesser bodies. Today when I was walking, I saw some monkeys and dogs fighting over some food, and just thinking, and they're thinking, this is my happiness, this is my enjoyment. It's just, they're fighting just to get a little bite to eat, fighting very viciously. And so how strong is this desire to enjoy this material nature? And these bodies just keep us on track of this hellish mentality to try to enjoy the material body, try to enjoy the material world. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises us, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitam va. Not even kavita. Don't look for wealth. If wealth comes, then you use it in Krishna service. Don't look for reputation. Don't try to exploit the opposite sex, but serve the opposite. If you're married, and if you're not married, then you serve by giving Krishna consciousness. If you're married, you understand this is not the object of my pleasure. This is the object of my service. And kavita, not even fruitive activities. Trying to enjoy fruitive activities will derail us from the objective of life. Just going back to what I was saying, that sadhu, shastra, guru, vaikya. Prabhupada said these are 3 rails. Just like a train goes on two rails, our train of 3 rails. Prabhupada said if you do these 3 things, you will go directly to Kṛṣṇa without hesitation. If you follow the Guru, if you respect the sadhus, and if you follow the Shastra, you will go very quickly. So, maitra karuna evacha. These are the ways we can become dear to Kṛṣṇa. Nirmamo nirahankara, Kṛṣṇa mentions also in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Nirmamo, nothing belongs to me. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Kṛṣṇa says. I am if we believe that, then we don't think that anything belongs to me. And nirahankaraha, the most difficult thing, give up the influence of the false ego. And samadukha, sukha, be the same in happiness and distress. It's very easy to be happy, just like Prahlad Maharaj, when he was telling his friends that sukham aindriyakam daitya, that this happiness and distress, deha yogiman dehinam, for one who is embodied in this material world, you will have to go through these things, but they come automatically. They come automatically. It's not like something that you are achieving. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that materialistic people are bewildered in this world because they spend their whole life trying to create happiness and trying to avoid misery. But happiness is not created. Real happiness, anandam buddhi vardhanam, comes from serving Kṛṣṇa, and especially for us, for chanting the holy name. You will not only be happy, you will be blissful. And you will not only be blissful, but it will increase. So many people ask me, how do I know if I'm chanting properly? That should happen. Namasada, namagana sada ruchi. That you should always feel that my taste for the holy name is increasing more and more. This is a very easy way to measure. Another way to measure, in the same vein of verses, that Krishna is describing those who are dear to him, that yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chaya. Two very important things. That one is never disturbed by others, and one never disturbs others. That's not so easy. Is it not so easy not to be disturbed? No. I see people all the time, they're disturbed about this or that or the other thing. No. Very difficult thing to do. But this is what Krishna is requiring of us. Harsha marsha bayodvegaya. In happiness and distress, in fear and in anxiety, you're not affected by these things. No. Mukto ya sachame priyaha. You're free from these things. So, being a devotee of Krishna, being dear to Krishna, there are many, many steps to being dear to Krishna. And then some more, I forgot some of the other verses. Therefore, I'll go to Shastra. Then the next verse, anapeksha shuchir daksha, anapeksha, indifferent to the material world, to the material energy. Shuchir, and being very clean. And daksha, being very expert. Srila Prabhupada spoke many times about this, being expert. Prabhupada said, not that now I am a devotee, therefore material things, they don't matter. This being expert in this material ability or another one, no. Doesn't matter, I'm a devotee. Prabhupada said, no, dakha, no. You must be expert. No. You must be expert. Why do we want to be expert? Because the more expert we are in serving Krishna, Krishna will be more pleased. If I'm not expert, still Krishna may accept my service. But we should not take that as the standard. The standard is always to become more and more and more expert. Just like we sing daily. That Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhai Yayalibir Textia Tatati Daksha. Very expert in making tasteful arrangements for Krishna. The gopis. And of course, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, I think it was Rameshwar Prabhu, asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, does this mean that because we're speaking about expert arrangements for Radha and Krishna, so that Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined, so making arrangements for the Sankirtan movement, is that a valid understanding? And Prabhupada said yes. Otherwise, we may not be on that platform of making expert arrangements. Unless you're a pujari for Radha Shama Sundar, then you can make expert arrangements, or for your own Radha Krishna deity. But to do that all the time may not be so easy. So, Srila Prabhupada allowed us to understand that yes, you can do it. Serve Lord Chaitanya, make expert arrangements for Lord Chaitanya's movement. Srila Prabhupada in Nectar of Instruction defines a Mahabhagavata as one who is thinking 24 hours a day how to spread this Krishna consciousness movement, making tasteful arrangements. Otherwise, just like here in this area, not just Vrindavan, but this whole area, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Such expert arrangements, big temples. Even at one time I was thinking, why so many big temples? But then when I see so many thousands of people coming, and they're not just coming like, especially South India temples. you see, like the assembly line. No, you come in, you give some coconut and some tulsi leaves, and then you go to the other side, and it gets blessed, and you give, of course, you give a little donation also. And then you come and you get your coconut, and just the assembly line, the blessing line, you know. And but I don't see that in our temples. Even though many of the people are very neophyte and they don't know what's going on, the devotees are explaining to them. You know. You don't see that in Hindu temples, that people are sitting down making an effort to explain. And this is so important. Not that we just have temples and have people filing through them, but we want to give, especially want to give them Srila Prabhupada's books. As Srila Prabhupada said, what will your 3-minute explanation do? Of course, if you can give a 3-minute explanation and a book, then that'll be very good. Then they'll understand what your 3-minute explanation was when they read the book. And so, you know, after seeing this, and especially in the last few weeks, I've gone to practically every temple in Delhi, and I'm going to a few more. I've already been to many of them, but now going to many others, and seeing how many hundreds and thousands of people are coming every day. We see it here, how many thousands of people come through every day. Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and Srila Prabhupada's sincere followers. Because in India, they like, if you make many big temples in the U.S., people will see it as a cultural exhibit. No, that's a nice thing. They have some good food. Yeah, no, they won't take it so seriously. But here, everyone takes it seriously, and we can see that by the numbers of people who are becoming devotees. Of course, all of us have to be expert in providing the ability for them to do these things. And so many other things. ūḍhā āsīnaṁ, free from thinking about caring for oneself. Of course, you have to care for the body because it belongs to Kṛṣṇa. It doesn't belong to me. We would care for the body out of fear of distress. But the real reason a Vaishnava cares for the body, it belongs to Kṛṣṇa. We have to take more care because it belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Just like Sanatana Goswami, when he embraced Lord Chaitanya and he had these infections on his body and he saw the pus and the blood on the body of Lord Chaitanya, he said, "This body is useless. I'm going to throw it under the wheel of Jagannath's cart." And Lord Chaitanya told him the next day, "This body, your body belongs to me. I have plans for that body." No. So we should think like that. Anyway, I want, because time is passing, I wanted to go to the last verse in this particular series of verses. Such an important verse. Ye tu dharmamritam para idam. Dharma. We always hear about Dharma, and Dharma, generally we see it following the codes of religion. But here Krishna says, Dharma Amrita. What is Dharma Amrita? Devotional service. Dharma means following this, that, Sri Dharma, this Dharma, that Dharma. But Krishna says, Dharmamrita. That this, if you follow this, and then, and you also, where's the next line? Yatoktam paryupashyate, and paryupashyate, always worshiping me. Tesham satati uktanam vajatam viddhipurvakam. That always worshiping Krishna, and not just worshiping him so that I will be free from anxiety or that I will suffer less, but worshiping him in priti, loving devotion. When we do this, so this is what Krishna is saying in the last verse, Shraddhana mat parama, and having faith in me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will bring the greatest fortune. And of course in the first two verses he says, Mayarpita mano buddhir. Worship me. Because he said so many things about disciplining the senses. Kṛṣṇa wanted to make sure that don't just discipline your senses and let your mind do what it wants, and let your intelligence try to find pleasure in so many philosophical speculations. Mayarpita mano buddhir. He says this several times, that worship me with your mind and your intelligence. Don't just do some external thing. Don't just do some mudra. No. I do something wrong, step on somebody, or do a mudra, and it's all taken care of. No. No, in the mind I should also. Not just the external mudra. In mind, I offended this Vaishnava. No. With my intelligence, no, I will not do it again. So always the mind and the intelligence have to be steeped in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada said, we have the solution for all these things. For the intelligence, Prabhupada's books. For the mind, the holy name. And for the senses, devotional service. So if we're always hearing from Srila Prabhupada's books, if we're always chanting the holy name, Kirtaniya Sadahari, and if we're always doing some service for Kṛṣṇa, even one's work, even if one is working, we have to see it that I am making money, and that money is for worshiping Kṛṣṇa. As long as I engage in Kṛṣṇa's service, then everything I'm doing is for Kṛṣṇa. Even though it Nikilasva Sivastasu, as Rupa Goswami says, even if it appears that what you're doing is just like everybody, just some ordinary person, but Jivan Mukta Sa Uchate, such a person is liberated, because Iha Yasya Harir Dasye Karmana Manasa Gira. Because even being in this world, they're always worshiping Lord Hari by Karmana Manasa Gira, by one's activities, by one's thoughts, and by one's words. Otherwise, in every way we can express ourselves, physically, mentally, verbally. These are the three main ways of expression. That expression should only be for the glorification of the Supreme Personality of God. So these are different ways that we can become dear to Kṛṣṇa. But the main way spoken both by Jad Bharat and by Prahlad Maharaj, is worshipping the devotees. Serving the devotees, worshipping the devotees. Huganayat tapasa nayati nachej jaya nirbapana dvihadva. Jad Bharat says, you can worship, you can make beautiful arrangements for the deities, you can be a very renounced person, or you can be an ideal grihastha, or you can perform austerities, or nachchandasa, you can study the Vedas, or jalagni surdhyayar, you can, like now, it's very hot, you can make a fire and sit in the middle of it. No. But it won't do you any good. No. Because the only solution, Vina Mahatpada Rajobhishekam, is without worshipping, taking the dust of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas on your head. No, doesn't matter what you do. If it's not sanctioned by a Vaishnava, if it's not connected to the Vaishnavas, because you can try to please Kṛṣṇa, just like Kṛṣṇa tells Arjuna in the Adi Purana. He says, someone who declares myself to be my devotee is actually not my devotee. But the person who is the devotee of my devotee, he is my real devotee. And even we see in the highest realms of the spiritual world, the gopis, they're all following Śrīmatī Radharani. Everyone is serving. Not like I made it. Okay, I'm in the topmost planet, in the topmost position. No. You're there because you are the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. And I'll conclude with this. Srila Prabhupada said that the farther down you are in the parampara, the more fortunate you are. If you're a direct follower of Rupa Goswami, well, that's not an easy thing to do. No. Like if we, in our present condition, would have been put in Rupa Goswami's service, well, we might not make it, therefore we're not there. No, we're here. Because we're getting the mercy of Rupa Goswami, the six Goswamis, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladevi Vibhushan, our whole parampara, we're getting it, and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and Srila Prabhupada's sincere followers' mercy. And the farther down that people, 8,000, 9,000 years from now, if we can all be very serious to keep Srila Prabhupada's movement very sacred, then they'll be so far, they'll have like a, 10,000 person parampara, like how many layers of lotus feet, like lotus feet going up to the moon. That much mercy they will have. So the more we can become the servant of the servant, then actually this is the nature of the Uttamadhikari. And Uttamadhikari sees everyone as Guru. Everyone. Everyone and everything. Such an elevated, a neophyte devotee may see the initiating Guru as long as he gives me, as long as he doesn't say anything that's too difficult, I worship him. Then if he gives me too many difficult instructions, well, I may avoid him. I've seen this happen, that when somebody wants to be in Maya, they won't come. They respect their Guru, that's about as far as it goes. Then when you become a Madhyamadhikari, you respect the Guru and the Vaishnavas, and you feel some compassion for the fallen conditioned soul. But an Uttamadhikari feels so much compassion. I mean, we're talking about Bhajananandi, Uttamadhikari. They cannot even instruct people because they see that everyone is following Krishna perfectly. Just I'm the only one that's not doing it. So, of course, that mentality, that standard of Uttamadhikari is very special. But Srila Prabhupada taught us and wanted us to be Uttamadhikaris like him, acting on the Madhyam, having the understanding of Uttama, but acting on the Madhyam platform to preach and give Krishna consciousness to others. So these are some thoughts on this verse. Maybe one quick question, if there is one, or some correction. Yeah. Yes, Shruti Kirti Prabhu.
You mentioned about one of the big temples. There's one letter from Śrīmatī Draupadī in 1971 to Sudama. He says it doesn't matter whether they're initiated or not. If they're coming in large numbers, that is the success of our mission. We're not after making initiated members very many, but our concern is that people understand the philosophy in wider circles. Initiated members are managing the temples and preaching work, but our program is to invite people to our feasts, let them hear our philosophy, and dance and chant. That is the basic principle of our philosophy in preaching work. So.
Thank you. I just read that about a month ago. Thank you for reminding me. It's Kali Yuga, you forget things easily. But yes, and this is a very important instruction by Srila Prabhupada because he's making the point that we don't want people just to come. As I briefly mentioned, we want to give them a book, we want to make sure they get prasad, and we want to make sure they go away with some understanding. Actually, Giriraj Maharaj said that Prabhupada told him in Delhi, of course that changed, but Prabhupada later gave a different instruction to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. But he told him, here I simply want a big hall where everyone can come in wearing shoes and sit down. He said, no bell ringing, no. Of course, Prabhupada did want bell, obviously we're ringing bells here and in every temple. But his point was, we don't want to just make it ceremonial, ritualistic. We want people to go away from here with some understanding, not just looking for blessings, no, looking for the real blessing. And I always say, here's the blessing. No. If you want blessings, here they are. No. instructions and indications of how to be Krishna conscious. That's a real blessing. Because material blessings sometimes are just like Lord Chaitanya, when he went on his way with Nityananda to correct Advaita Acharya, who was preaching, Yoga Vashishta, and one tantric sannyasi with his female companion gave blessings to Lord Chaitanya. Said, please, Maharaj, give blessings. He said, may you be wealthy, successful, and have a good wife. And Lord Chaitanya said, this doesn't sound like a blessing to me. So, of course, if we are married or we're wealthy or anything, the blessing is to use all of that in Krishna's service. So anyway, we've gone a little over time, so I'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Shri Radha Shyamasundar Krishna Balaram Gaur Nitai ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.